Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into today's video, if you could just hit that big button down below. We've just hit 9k and we're on to 10k as soon as possible, so every little helps to get there. As well, the Leeds Creator Cup is right around the corner. The 20th of July at the John Charles Centre for Sport, all in aid of Prostate Cancer UK. It will be a great day out for all the family, all the Leeds United creators playing in a big game of football that's for charity, for a good cause. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So make sure you go ahead, check in the description down below the Leeds Creator Cup and get your tickets today. So today's video, we're going to be talking about a goalkeeper replacement. Now, Lyon, the French giants, have recently been relegated to Ligue 2 in France due to breakages of the financial regulations over there in the French divisions, and therefore they have a lot of players who are not going to be willing to play in the second division over in France, and they're going to lose pretty much all of their players. We've already talked about Georges Mikotadze, which we might make a full video on at some point soon, and Nicolas Tagliafico, but this time we're going to be talking about the goalkeeper front and Lucas Perri. Now, Lucas Perri played for Sao Paulo, then he got a loan actually to Crystal Palace, where he played on loan for a season in 2019, but since then has been playing for Botafogo and then eventually signed for Lyon in 2024 for around 3.25 million euros when he had a market value of around 8 million euros. Over the course of last year, he's played quite a few games, 33 to be precise, in the league, and he has skyrocketed his value up to 10 million euros, which still, for a Premier League goalkeeper, if Leeds were to sign him, wouldn't be bad at all. I might still see him as a little bit of a backup, as you might be able to see as we go through this video. But Lucas Perri then, he's a goalkeeper who, on the face of it, doesn't look an insane upgrade on Illan Meslier. His save percentage is 74.4%, and in the Europa League is 75%, with Illan Meslier's save percentage being 72.7%. So a little bit higher on that front. But in terms of crosses stopped, 6.8% of crosses that come into the penalty area have been stopped by Lucas Perri, which puts him in the 64th percentile. When we look at Illan Meslier on that front, crosses stopped 9.2%, which puts him in the 93rd percentile. So I think sometimes we are having to rely on the eye test here, because Leeds were playing as the best team in the division, as proved by finishing where we did in the division. But Illan Meslier did stop more crosses than a lot of goalkeepers, and is similar when compared to people like Michael Cooper. The thing that you can't really account for in statistics is the percentage of mistakes that lead to goals, really, and that's where Meslier falls down. His concentration levels and the amount of goals that have occurred because of his mistakes. And I think that you're not going to get that from somebody like Lucas Perri. I think whilst some of the statistics, easy for me to say, some of the statistics, they seem fairly similar in terms of Illan Meslier and Lucas Perri, but we've never really questioned too much Illan Meslier in terms of his shot-stopping ability. He's always been very good at that. It's more been his cross-claiming and his command of the area and the mistakes that he makes leading to goals. Lucas Perri is somebody who is less likely to make these mistakes. When compared to other goalkeepers in terms of statistics, he's compared to people like Lucas Chevalier at Lille, top goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois at Real Madrid, Gianluigi Donnarumma at PSG, Di Gregorio at Juventus, Miles Villa at Roma, Kevin Trapp at Eintracht Frankfurt, and Vicario at Tottenham Hotspur. So some really good elite goalkeepers. And the reason I want to talk about Donnarumma is when we look at Lucas Perri's stats, his save percentage being at 74.5%, you might think that's terrible. Gianluigi Donnarumma's save percentage at 68.3%, putting him in the 39th percentile. Somebody who won the Champions League. So it's not necessarily the be-all, end-all, that save percentage number. I think there is a lot to do with the way that they actually play, and having seen the way that Lucas Perri plays, he does claim crosses. He is more confident in that sense. He's 195 centimetres, which puts him at, tell you what, in most of Europe, in fact all of Europe apart from England, they talk about height in centimetres, and we have to translate it. We're the only country that does it. He's 6'3.9", so 6'4" essentially. Commanding goalkeeper, claims crosses, good shot stopper as well, and is somebody who, I think for the price of him, if we are going to see Illan Meslier go out to somewhere, for example, like Fenerbahce, Lucas Perri could be a first-team choice, but he could also be a first-team backup as well. His wages at the moment, €17,000 a week, which is not a massive outlay for a Premier League goalkeeper. He could come in and do a job as the first-team keeper. He's a good shot stopper, good cross-claimer. One thing that he is high up in the percentages for is PSXG minus GA, which there's a mouthful. We'll have to get through this. Look, let's read the description. Post-shot expected goals minus goals allowed. Positive numbers suggest better luck or an above-average ability to stop shots. PSXG is expected goals based on how likely the goalkeeper is to save the shot. So, in layman's terms, they've measured how likely, based on 100, 1,000 situations in a similar position, how likely a goalkeeper is to save the shot, and then they'll assign that a value based on how many of those go in out of that 1,000 shots. So therefore, if they're saving it, and most of the time it goes in, they get a positive number in this attribute. So it's minus the goals that they've conceded though. So he is plus 0.16, putting him in the 81st percentile, so the top 19% of goalkeepers in Europe. When we compare that to Meslier, to give you a little bit more context, Illan Meslier is down at minus 0.01, so that puts him in the 35th percentile. So that does somewhat account for the mistakes that a goalkeeper makes. Should they be saving this? Have they let in a howler based on other people shooting from that distance? And I think you can tell with Meslier that puts him down at minus 0.01, puts him in the 35th percentile. You look at Donnarumma even, minus 0.04 puts him in the 29th percentile, but when you look at Lucas Perri, it puts him in the 0.16 per 90, puts him in the 81st percentile. So a lot of percentiles, a lot of numbers thrown at you. The moral of the story to me is that Lucas Perri is a more solid goalkeeper in terms of mistakes. How many mistakes does he actually make? And also, what is his passing like? Average length of goal kicks, 36.6. So, in yards. So that puts him in the 19th percentile. So he takes them very short, which is what we would want to do if we were playing out from the back. That's the idea. How many times does he launch the ball? 29.0% of the time. So a third of the time he will launch the ball long, putting him in the 36th percentile. So he doesn't like to launch the ball that much, but he can if he needs to. So that's a general idea of Lucas Perri then. What's the overall picture? He's pretty solid and he doesn't make that many mistakes. He's way up there in Europe for expected to save the shot. He will save the shot. He comes out and claims crosses. His clean sheet percentage is pretty high, 29.5%, putting him in the 68th percentile. And his save percentage is above Meslier's and above Donnarumma's at 74.5%, putting him in the 78th percentile. So we're comparing him to our current keeper and comparing him to the goalkeeper that won the Champions League. So that's a generally kind of rough idea of the type of goalkeeper Lucas Perri is. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. We don't look at goalkeepers often. We could do more in-depth looks as well in terms of highlights, the way they push off from the ground and the way they actually save things. Let me know if you'd like to see more of that when we talk about goalkeepers as well. But thanks for watching Leeds lately. Make sure you check out the Leeds Creator Cup in the description below, and of course my prints that I've designed myself for Leeds United fans. If you want to support me, that is in the description as well. Thanks for watching Leeds lately, and I'll see you in the next one.